Alright, so the first we're going to do is test B, number 1. They give us our roots, so we need to write our roots down, and then we will convert them into factors. So the first root that we're going to write down is f equals negative 2, x equals negative 1, and x equals negative I. Remember here, I is just a placeholder for us of the square root of negative 1. So that could help us out a little bit later on. We're going to take our roots and convert them into factors. So x equals minus 2, x plus 2 is the factor. X equals negative 1, x plus 1 is the factor. Now when we take the square roots here, remember that we're still going to have, we talked about this in class, you're going to have plus and minus, so we're going to have two factors that come out of this. We're going to have x plus I, and then x minus I. So we have two things going on here. The first thing, we just wrote down the root. They gave us this in the problem. This was given to us, and we converted them into factors. How we did that was we switched the sign. So negative 2 became positive 2, negative 1 became positive 1. And we talked about the mechanics of that in our class today. Okay, so the last step that we need to do is to actually write all of these factors and multiply them together to make our equation. So roots to factor, we're going to multiply to get our equation. So let's multiply the first two. We're going to multiply x plus 2 times x plus 1. X plus 2 times x plus 1 equals x squared plus 2x plus 1x plus 2. And that gives us x squared plus 3x plus 2. When we multiply these two binomials together, you get x plus I times x minus I. And that gives you x squared plus ix minus ix, and then minus I squared. You can see that x squared is going to come out of this, and then ix minus ix, this is basically like $1 minus $1, so you can cancel those out. They cancel out to 0. And then minus I squared. Let's talk about this minus I squared term. I squared is just negative 1. So what we're saying is that this is a minus a negative 1. So in other words, x squared plus 1. So we're going to multiply x squared plus 3x plus 2 by x squared plus 1 for our final equation. So we have one more box to do, and we're going to multiply again x squared plus 3x plus 2 by x squared plus 1. So you get x to the 4th. And let's check to make sure. We have x to the 4th here, so we should have 4 real roots and 4 factors. We look back at our factors, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fantastic. We've done that right. There are 4 factors, so we have x to the 4th is correct. Alright, 3x times x squared is 3x cubed, 2x squared, x squared, 3x, and then plus 2 at the bottom. So all together, we have our function that comes from this box. We have f of x equals x to the 4th plus 3x cubed plus 3x squared plus 3x plus 2. Number 2 works the exact same way. You are going to write your roots. After you write your roots, you'll convert them into factors. After you convert them into factors, you're going to multiply to write your equation. So we'll do the same thing over here. We have 4, negative 5, and the square roots negative square root of 5. So let's take our roots together. This is number 2. And we're going to use the same process. Our roots are x equals 4, x equals negative 5, and x equals negative square roots of 5. And in class we talked about why this is going to be plus and minus together. So we're just going to go ahead and add that in now, so that's there. So we have our factors, x minus 4, x plus 5, x minus the square root of 5, x plus the square root of 5. So we're going to take our factors, multiply them together. We'll multiply x minus 4 and x plus 5 first. X minus 4, x plus 5. This gives you x squared minus 4x plus 5x minus 20. So all that together equals x squared plus x plus 20. And our next box will be x minus the square root of 5 times x plus the square root of 5. That gives you x squared minus x squared to 5 plus x squared to 5, and then minus 5. So on this you can see this is going to be like minus $1 and plus $1, so that will cancel, and you're just left with x squared minus 5. Again, from class, with this box right here was the square root of 5 times the square root of 5. The square root of 5 times the square root of 5 is the square root of 25. The square root of 25 is 5. And then we can see that I'm multiplying a positive number times a negative number. Positive times negative is a negative. This last box here is just going to be us multiplying this expression by this expression. So try your x squared plus x plus 20, and then x squared minus 5. I'm seeing over here that this is a minus 20, so I'm going to correct that to be a minus 20. Alright, so we're going to have x to the 4th plus x cubed minus 20x squared minus 5x squared minus 5x, and then plus 100. Great. So we're ready to write our function. And this writing the function, multiply to write the equation, that's this last step here. So we multiply, we're ready to write our function. It's f of x equals x to the 4th plus x cubed minus 25x squared minus 5x plus 100. So let's take a look at number 3, which says 2x minus 2 quantity squared. So I would expand this out to just say 2x minus 2 multiplied by 2x minus 2. And we'll get into our exponent rules later, but for now we're going to multiply it this way. So 2x minus 2 times 2x minus 2. And I want to multiply them together, so I can just use the box method here. I'm going to have 4x squared minus 4x minus 4x, and then plus 4. This is going to give me 4x squared plus 8x plus 4. That's the product, and you can always just say that's f of x. Number 4, they asked me to multiply c8 to the 8th power minus 6. And we're going to multiply that by c squared minus 4c minus 2. Again, it's just a box method as well to multiply. So c squared minus 4c minus 2 multiplied by c to the 8 minus 6. So here you're going to want to make sure that if you're multiplying like bases like c and c, you can just add the exponents here. So c to the 8 times c squared is going to be c to the 10th power. Alright, so we're going to multiply negative 4c times c to the 8th. This is negative 4c to the 9th. Minus 2 times c to the 8th is minus 2c to the 8th. And we'll do our next line. Negative 6c squared, 24 plus 24c, and then 6 times negative 2. Negative 6 times negative 2 is positive 12. Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to write this expression, this final expression that we're going to get, from highest exponent all the way down to this last exponent and then the constant. So it's going to be c to the 10th minus 4c to the 9th minus 2c to the 8th minus 6c squared minus 24c and then plus 12. So you can just add in the f of x here at the top. The function looks like that for number 4. Alright, so number 5 is our first division problem. We have 4x cubed plus 20x squared plus 12x minus 16. And we are dividing that polynomial by x minus 4. If the remainder of this polynomial division problem is 0, then x minus 4 is a factor. If we get a remainder other than 0, then x minus 4 is not a real factor of this polynomial. So we're going to take this bottom number here, that's 4, and we're going to copy it up here. We're going to reduce this exponent of 3 by 1. So that would be 4x squared. 4x squared times x is 4x cubed, and this is negative 16x squared. I'm going to subtract here. When I subtract, I need to flip all of my signs. In other words, I'm distributing this negative sign. 4x cubed minus 4x cubed is canceled. And then this is going to be 36x squared. Copy this 36 up here, plus 36. Reduce this exponent by 1, so 36x. So it's 36 times x, 36x squared. And then the next one we'll do is going to be 36 times 4. That gives us 144. X, like that. I want to check my signs. I have a positive up here and a negative over here, so there should be a negative sign here. And when you do that, you're going to flip your signs. You're going to subtract. So you have this 144, and then you're going to add on this 12. You're going to get 156x to come out of that. 156x, bring down your minus 16, and then you're going to put this 156 up here. 156 times x is 156x. 156 times negative 4 is going to be negative 624. And when you go to subtract this, you'll flip all of your signs, which gives you a remainder of 608. This remainder is not done, so you want to take this remainder and write it right up here at the top. Plus 608 divided by x minus 4.